Hi everyone, and welcome to my workforce blog. So today's topic is increases to AHT. Most of us struggle to figure out exactly why our AHT is going up. Some of us tend to assume the standard things like customer mailouts, billing concerns, customers calling in about their products and services to get more familiar with them or to ask questions or technical questions. And those are definitely valid contributors for sure. But sometimes we fail to think outside the box or see the bigger picture and try to pinpoint or narrow down overall why your HT is up and things that you can do to reduce it, right? You know, every second counts in business and in life in general. So I have a few tips written down over here that I want to share with you guys of things that I've learned over the years and processes that you can adopt at your call center that may help you as well. So first thing, agent desktop performance. It's important to work with the IT department to make sure to check that all your agents' PCs are equal. They have the same amount of RAM, the same tools, the same performance. They have tools to benchmark computers these days. They can tell you how fast the computers are performing. Even listen to your agents. Your agents will tell you whether they don't have enough RAM or whether their computer is slower than their other friends or their other agents. So listen to them. You know, if you're hearing a lot of that, then probably you want to get your IT department on top of that ASAP. Second would be, why does one agent perform faster than another? That's a great one. This one might take you a little longer to figure out, but it's definitely worth doing. It's something called a time study. Time study is simple. You just take agent A, B, or C, or if you want to make it quick, agent A and B. You take a few of your top performing agents, your agents A, and you know they have the highest quality scores, the most calls per day, the lowest HT. They're just performers. And then sometimes you think agents B or C, they're not doing so well, and it's their fault. They're lazy or they're just not good enough. And sometimes that's not necessarily the truth. Sometimes it just has to do with what are agents A doing better than agents B and C. Best thing to do is sit down with a couple agent A's who have great performance, great quality scores. They handle the calls quickly and effectively and just document it. Work with your quality assurance department, do a checklist, go through a call and figure out what they're doing that's effective, and then sit with agent B and C and then go through calls with them and figure out what they're doing that's effective and what they're doing that's not as effective. And and then once you figure out these things, you can work with your training department, you can work with quality department to get something together to get agents B and C at par with agents A. All in all, you're going to have a better performing department once you figure out exactly where the disparities are between performance. Next would be, are your legacy systems slowing you down? So sometimes, it's very hard to invest money into new systems. I mean, no one wants to do it, but sometimes you have to kind of swallow the pride pill and think, are my systems costing more money in the long run? So what I mean by legacy systems are your 24-year-old pieces of software slowing your agents down, and there's a new solution on the market that obviously costs money to implement, costs money to buy, and sometimes you might not want to spend that money, but in reality, you got to think of it like a return on investment. Sometimes your agents will have so many issues with these legacy systems. They're not compatible with new programs, new hardware. They're not compatible with a lot of things these days, and sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and purchase the newer upgrades or the newer software and just work on a budget or plan to implement them. Obviously, if you really look into it, it's going to save you money over time. So next would be employee burnout. Sometimes, effectively working call centers or effective call centers have really high occupancy, but that sometimes could work against you. Sometimes it might be a situation where your employees burn out if your occupancy exceeds 90%. So if you're in the occupancy range of 90 to 95, 100%, that's not good. Your agent's burning out, and guaranteed working with agents long enough that they are going to take longer on calls just because they don't want to go from call after call to call after call after call. Ideally, you want to have occupancy between 80 to 85%. That's a sweet spot. A lot of places where I've worked, 80, 85% is what you want to aim for. It keeps agents busy, but also keeps them happy. They do have a little bit of breathing room. And while a lot of breathing room is not good, a little bit is good. So your occupancy, definitely good to keep around 80, 85%. So if it's too high, you're losing money because agents are quitting in negative attrition, and you're also burning them out. So they're going to take longer on calls without you noticing. Next, I would say probably for chat. Chat's a new platform. A lot of you guys haven't worked with it. I worked with it for a couple years. And I think one of the most effective things with chat is when the software that your agents use behind the chat system, like your legacy systems or the systems that you use to pull customer information, are effective. So do they allow the agents to do 1 or 2 sessions at a time? If they only allow the agent to look up 1 customer at a time, your chat platform will not be effective. That's what they call concurrency. So what concurrency is basically how many sessions or customers they can actually be talking to at one given time. So if you have a system where you can only source 1 customer's record or information, then what's going to happen is they're just going to be able to do just like a voice call. It's 1-to-1. They're only going to be able to work with 1 customer, and therefore all the money you invested in a chat platform to try to gain more efficiency and reduce your cost per call is out the window. You need to ensure that if you're going to be investing in a chat platform, that you're going to be spending money on upgrading your legacy systems and or making sure that the systems your agents have to access customer information can do more than 1 session. So I can have 2 or 3 customers accounts open, and I can be looking up the info and actually processing transactions. Not just looking up info, but can you actually process transactions at the same time too? So if you're going to be implementing a chat platform, when it comes to AHT, it's a new ball game. A lot of people are not familiar with it. I am. Please, email me, ask me any questions that you like. Concurrency is super important, and having a platform in the background to access customer information that can have multiple sessions and multiple transaction sessions is also super important as well. The next would be access to information. So kind of in the same line what I was just talking about is, do your agents have access to information, articles, things that they need to know about your products and services in one place? If you have them looking up, 4 or 5 different websites, Google pages, whatever it may be, just to source customer information or just to source information on products and services that you sell, chances are that's adding seconds to a call. And seconds, multiply that by 80, 90 calls a day, or if not seconds, add in 20, 30 seconds. That could be quite a big chunk of average handle time that you're missing out on. And over time, over weeks, over the amount of agents that you employ, just not having one centralized source where your agents can access information is costing you a lot of money. Because ultimately, if it takes them 7 or 8 steps to actually get to one answer for a customer, or 7 or 8 pages or databases or whatever the case may be, you are losing out on a lot of time that could be spent moving on to the next call. So guys, that's in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed the video. It gives you a bit of idea of things that you can think of to start kind of reducing your HT overall in the call center and just trying to make your agents more effective overall in their job. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.